going to share my screen here so that I can play this PowerPoint. Perfect. And so I am Natalie Garvey. I am a senior sales account manager here at All About Books. Sorry about that, little technical difficulties. And I will be presenting on diverse books for early childhood, which has become a little bit of a tradition as this is my third year, I believe, presenting with this presentation, and it's such an honor to be here. I also wanted to mention that my colleagues Paige Satterley and Brittany will be in the chat. If anyone has questions while I'm talking, feel free to write those out and they will be there to answer them as I go through. So again, I will be discussing diverse books for early childhood and how we choose what is appropriate for each age range. I'm going to start with a quick rundown of all of our age categories. And from there, I'll touch upon each individual age range while showcasing some of our current catalog items, some of our online exclusive titles, and every title that you do see in this presentation can be found on our website. So let's get started. Oh, there we go. All right, so curating our book selection, we do use the Reach Out and Read milestones as guidelines for aging our books. I say guideline because every child develops differently and we know that firsthand. So something in the birth to 6-month age might be more appropriate for a 6 to 12-month-old or a 12 to 18-month-old developing, depending on how that child is developing and vice versa. So our age ranges that you'll see on our website and in our catalog are the birth to 6-month and 6 to 12-month ages, our 12 to 18 and 18 to 24-month ages, which are that younger toddler age range, 24 to 36 months, which is that older toddler, and then 3 to 5 years, which we consider the preschooler age range. So starting with our infants, which is that birth to 6 and 6 to 12-month age, babies are starting to see colors within their first few months, and they can start identifying skin color and facial features by 6 months. Then their eyesight is fully developed within that first year. So starting with high contrast books like My First Food, which is more black and white with some color that is great for to keep their attention. And then moving into faces and touch and feel books as they get a little older and are starting to be able to identify people and faces and recognize different facial expressions. Those are great for that 6 to 12-month early birth to 6 as well. And this is the perfect opportunity to start choosing baby faces books that have children that look different on every page, and just right from the start incorporating children of all backgrounds and all ethnicities so that you're exposing them right from when they're born. Babies, as we know, love looking at other babies. So as a real life example, my daughter and son started recognizing smiling babies in books and smiling back when they would come across a happy baby. And it was just so fun to watch. Their brains at this age are moving so fast and they're learning so many things. So being able to incorporate everything you want them to learn and be exposed to right from the start is so important. You'll notice that some of our birth to 6-month titles can also be used for older age ranges. And that's because we try to emphasize this birth to 6-month as primarily setting the foundation for reading and really starting that bonding moment between parent and child at bedtime or just during the day, grabbing a book and sitting down and reading. And it just really establishes that parent caregiver bond with a newborn or, any age. I've always loved reading longer paperback books when my kids are little because it gives you that chance. They're able to sit still, they're able to sit, and you're able to enjoy that time together. And then as they start wanting to be more involved in bedtime and picking out their books, I rotate towards more board books that are a little sturdier and can handle them, really partaking in that routine of reading. And then as they go older, I am noticing, especially with my daughter, she goes more back to those longer paperback books, which is, I like to think, she likes to enjoy the story. It's possible it's a way to extend bedtime, but we're going to go with her, enjoying those longer stories and being able to be inquisitive about them. So moving on from this age, we go into that younger toddler, which is the 12 to 24-month age. And this is where you can start focusing on books that are naming objects or animals or people and things that they see in their everyday lives, because it's allowing them to start naming objects that they regularly see or hear you talk about. Toddlers at this age are also starting to categorize items by colors, shapes, size, and this includes people. So people with blonde hair, brown eyes, black skin, white skin. Just by observing the world around them and the books that they're exposed to, they're always learning. And so that means that just casually handing them a book with people of all color and all ethnicity is so important, and it's going to normalize that in their everyday life. This age is also important to focus on routines. So finding books that focus on bedtime, mealtime, playtime, etc. are great. They're also starting to ask questions at this age. So the what's this, what's that, for those kids that start talking a little earlier, and the infamous why question, which I get a lot in my house. My almost 2-year-old has picked it up from his big sis. So now we get why for everything, which is super fun. But sometimes while you're sitting and reading these kinds of books, it can be fun to pose the question back to them. So why is this person angry? And, you can ask them, why do you think? What's happening in the story? And it's just a fun way to get them to engage and really enjoy reading that book together. Moving on to our older toddler stage. So here we are starting to incorporate short stories. Books like Llama Llama Red Pajama or You Hold Me Up, the Leo storybooks, and I Love You So are all a great length to read and engage a toddler's attention, while also starting to teach messages about love and feelings as they start to comprehend those things more in shorter spurts. So another great tool are silly stories, rhyming and singing, books about children and families, picture books that tell short stories to engage and entertain. This is also such an important age to continue to include books that not only specifically address diversity, but also books that feature diversity without addressing the topic head on. So a great example of this is Leo at the Park. It features a Black child as the main character, but the story is about a toddler going to the park, which every toddler loves to go to the park and swing and go on the slide. Another great example is The Baby and Me. So this is a title that I brought home to my daughter when we brought home her little brother. And it's just a great way to incorporate all different sibling dynamics. So there's older sisters, older brothers, all with little siblings and people with different backgrounds and skin tones. So it allows the connection between an older sibling that's also working through frustrations, which are inevitable when they have a little sibling that's around, and disrupting their day. So it's touching on those feelings as well. And, how can I play with my baby or help them feel better when they're crying? It's just a great way to use that and books as a tool in this situation. And Storytelling Math, which is that What Will Fit, that bilingual title that you see. That's one of our online exclusive titles. And this is an early math concept book that's applicable to every child, being demonstrated and represented by children with different skin colors. So stressing that early introduction to all races, which makes children more accustomed to seeing all different kinds of faces. And with the ultimate goal being that children are accepting of all people, no matter what they look like, and that they're kind to all people, no matter what they look like. And now we have reached our preschooler age, which is such a fun age. The books get a little bit longer. They get a little bit more engaging. And we're really trying to find books that have kids who look like and live like them, as well as a mirror aspect of the windows and mirrors concept, which is showing, the mirror of someone's life, having a book that looks just like them, in addition to the windows of having a window into someone else's life and other people's experiences. So this is also the age where we're trying to choose books that have words they can easily identify, along with images and context clues, so they can really start drawing their own conclusions while you're reading them these stories. As this age range starts to go to school, there may be fear of seeming different or meeting new people. So books like We're Different, We're the Same and Be Kind speak on the topic of accepting and being kind to everyone in every scenario. This is also a time in their lives where they're starting to experience very large emotions. And so including books that discuss feelings, coping with emotions, and changes are helpful to give a definition and context for the emotions they are feeling. So Waiting on Mr. Sloth is a great example of practicing patience. It can be really hard to be patient as a 3 to 5-year-old. You just want everything to happen right away. So that is a great title. Choices is another awesome title, because what 3 to 5-year-old doesn't like to have choices, to have that control of being able to choose what they want to do or what they want to use or anything of the sort. Julian is a Mermaid is just a great book about being yourself and being true to who you are and not having any shame or fear in that. My Papa is a Princess is a very fun title about the imagination of little kids and how their papas can be princesses in that imagination or in anything. And then How Did Dinosaurs Say I Love You? The dinosaurs titles are really fun because they touch upon the big feelings of little kids. They can be, crazy dinosaurs, but how to sort of cope with those feelings and ways to go about expressing your love, and for this example. These are clear examples as well of windows and mirrors books. And a great example that I really love, which isn't on this screen, but you will see in another slide soon, is one of my daughter's current favorites, which is Mango, Abuela, and Me, which really focuses on using patience and kindness when approaching something new or someone new. That book in particular, the main character's grandma enters her life, and she has to figure out how to communicate with her because her grandma only speaks Spanish and she only speaks English. And it's a new relative, so she feels shy. So the book goes through how the main character handles that. And it's a great example of a window into someone else's life. We speak English at home. We don't have one of our grandmothers isn't living with us or coming to live with us. And I was so pleasantly surprised when my daughter loved that book, and we now love reading it every other night. And so it's so fun to have those conversations as well, because it opens those up with your child to talk about things that you wouldn't normally talk about because they're not happening in your day-to-day life. So when we choose diversity, we try to offer a wide selection of books with a variety of messages and representation, as I have been mentioning throughout the presentation. So offering a diverse selection is so much more than just finding books for a specific audience. It's important to have a variety of options for every child to be able to read and see themselves in. As we start to incorporate, as I've just mentioned, the windows and mirrors concept, we really take that into consideration in our selections, and having books available for the audience is so essential. So even if a child is not experiencing a specific scenario depicted in a book, like I just mentioned, Mango, Abuela, and Me, they may have a classmate or a friend who is going through something like that or might go through that in the future. And so it's just a great way to open up that conversation, as I mentioned, and prepare them for anything, which is always what we want. We always want our toddlers to try and be as prepared as possible, no matter how hard that might be. In addition, as I mentioned at the beginning, we have online exclusives in addition to our catalog titles, and everything can be found on our website. So we have some titles that are regularly cycled through, so we might get them, put them up, and when they're gone, they're gone. We also have a lot of online exclusives that are regularly replenished. They are great sellers. We just wanted to move them to be on our website solely. In addition to that, any new arrivals that we have. So sometimes we'll get new books that we might be hoping to put in our next year's catalog, and we'll put them up on the website first so that you don't have to wait. And it's just a great tool. If you're looking for something, you can likely find it on our website. But that's a great segue into if you have a specific project and we don't have it on our website in our catalog, you can always reach out to us and we can try and find the book that you're looking for, potentially order it for you, and if not, point you in the right direction to get that for you. So we also have, I'm sure many of you know, we do have a lot of Spanish, English bilingual titles, but we're always trying to find new languages that people need. And so right now, we do have additional languages that can all be found on our website. Those include Chinese, French, Arabic, Russian, Vietnamese, and Spanish only. And on our website, we try and make it as easy as possible to find these things. So if you're in the books section, there's always a way to filter depending on what language you're looking for. We also have a filter for age ranges, themes, everything like that. But specifically for languages, you can filter out whichever ones you're looking for, and it will direct you to exactly what you need. In addition to Smart Start, we work with other programs like Reach Out and Read, Parents as Teachers, Head Start, First Five, Nurse Family Partnership, just to name a few across the country. And now the important part as well is placing an order with us. So we do try and make this as easy as possible. On our website, you can place an order directly through there, which, as I've been mentioning, you can find all of our catalog titles as well as any online exclusives that we have or one-time purchases. And that is, you can also find and download our order forms. You can download our catalog as well. We have a PDF version if you're ever hoping to just gain that. You can also request a catalog if you'd like one physically sent to you. In addition to our website, where if you're not sure, I wanted to mention too, if you're not sure whether or not you have an account already, you can always reach out directly to us to see if you do, and then we're able to set you up with access to place orders that way. There is an option to create and register for a new account if you know for sure that you do not already have one set up, and that's fine too. You can do it that way. If we're able to locate an account that already exists, we just merge it in, and we usually reach out to you to verify a few things before we do that. In addition to our website, you can also email us your order forms. So we offer an Excel order form and a PDF version. Both do feature our online exclusives. Typically, they're worked in either to the age ranges or at the bottom. And so those are resources. Our Excel order form, every item is also linked. So if you're wondering what something looks like, you can always press the item number in the A column, and it'll bring you right to our website, and it'll show you what that item looks like. Additionally, you can always call. So we're always available by phone. And if you are looking through the catalog, you see something that you like and you just want to order it and get it out of the way, you can always pick up the phone and call us. And you'll likely speak to my colleague Shannon, as she is the first one to answer the phones. But I am going to leave my contact information as well. And you can always call me directly. Lastly, we do still offer a fax option. And so our fax number can be found on this slide, but it can also be found in our catalog. And I believe on our website, you should be able to find it there. In addition to that, I wanted to also mention that for every order over $100, you either qualify for 10% off or 10 free books for every $100 spent. So if you order $200 worth of books, you would receive 20 extra books for free if you choose that option. Otherwise, you can get 10% off your order and order more books if you're trying to get within a budget. And right now, we are in our Spring into Savings promotional period, which is really exciting. We always love being able to do this. And this does run through the end of June. So any order over $2,500 qualifies for 15% off using the code SPRING15. It is not combinable with our partner pack discount. So you have to either choose, as usual, either choose the 15% discount or partner packs. Any order under $2,500 does still qualify for that 10% discount or the partner packs, as I mentioned. And here are some of my children's current favorites. As I mentioned, Mango Abuela and Me. My son, who is going to be 2 in August, loves Brown Bear. He loves pointing at all the animals at the end and pretending that he knows what all of them are, which is so cute. I personally love reading I Believe in You. And my daughter loves Goodnight Construction Site. And I love those books because I mix it up and I make the vehicles girls for when I'm talking to her. And I mix it up. I keep them boys and girls, but it's fun she loves construction vehicles. So it's fun to be able to make it my own like that. And if you have any questions, I apologize if I spoke a little fast, but if you have any questions, I am happy to answer them if Paige and Brittany did not.
Thank you so much. We love your books. I know I do. Thank you.
I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you for attending. I'm so grateful that everyone wanted to listen.
Yes, thank you, Natalie. That was great. And we love your books, of course, as you know. And I want to ask everyone that is in attendance today to please take the survey. It's listed in the chat. And also, if you would like additional information, maybe the slides, Natalie, do you want to share the slides? And we can also share the recorded session with you. So if you would put your email address, your name and email address in the chat, then I will get that information to you. Again, thank you so much, Natalie, for attending with us today.